Everyone thought Japan would stay forever tied to its peaceful past. But what if I told you that belief is now being shattered right before our eyes? In a move that no expert dared to predict, Japan is abandoning decades of pacifism and doing it with the full weight of U.S. military power at its back. This isn't just another political maneuver. It's a bold gamble that could completely redefine the future of Asia and maybe even trigger the next global power shift. In today's video, you'll discover secrets that most news outlets aren't telling you. And by the end, you'll realize why understanding this hidden side of world events could put you miles ahead of everyone else. Stay sharp. What you're about to learn is just the beginning. After decades of proudly holding onto a pacifist identity since World War II, Japan is now orchestrating a defense buildup unlike anything seen in over 60 years. It's a jaw-dropping shift, doubling its defense budget, upgrading military bases, and stepping boldly into a new era of regional security. Imagine a nation once celebrated for its pacifism now preparing for threats with cutting-edge missile systems and next-level strategies. And no, this isn't some distant plan whispered in political circles. It's happening right now. The U.S.-Japan alliance is stronger than ever, and the looming China threat is making Tokyo rethink everything. If this caught you off guard, just know we're only scratching the surface of what's unfolding behind the scenes. By the way, if you want to be among the few who truly understand these historic shifts as they happen, make sure you subscribe and like this video. Trust me, you won't want to be the last to know. China wasted no time responding to this tectonic shift. The People's Liberation Army unleashed massive military drills around Taiwan, flexing its muscles in a show of defiance. But look closer. These exercises are more than saber-rattling. They are rehearsals for scenarios that could upend the regional balance. With the U.S.-Japan alliance strengthening and missile systems multiplying, the China threat has become a pressure cooker on the brink. You can almost feel the old rules of engagement slipping away, replaced by a new, more volatile game. And as military bases buzz with activity, strategic islands are becoming the hottest real estate in the Pacific. When two of the world's greatest powers tighten their bond, history takes note. The latest upgrades in the U.S.-Japan alliance, including a new warfighting base and streamlined command structures, are not just symbolic. They are a bold signal to the world. With regional security on a knife's edge, this move enables rapid military responses that could make all the difference. Think of it as upgrading from a dusty map to a real-time GPS system in a battlefield where every second counts. The defense buildup is no longer a future ambition. It is now written into the DNA of these military bases. And yet, if you think China would simply sit back and watch, you're about to see a very different reality unfold. Japan's economic veins run deep into the Middle East for oil and across Asia for critical resources like semiconductors. Any disruption, whether from a conflict in the Taiwan Strait or blockades, would cripple industries overnight. That's why defense buildup is no longer a theoretical debate, but an urgent necessity. The China threat doesn't just loom over borders. It hovers over supply chains that touch every part of modern life. When you realize how much of the global economy hinges on these fragile routes, the urgency behind missile systems and military bases becomes crystal clear. And speaking of pressure points, Japan has more disputes brewing closer to home. Okinawa and the surrounding islands are no longer quiet outposts. They are now the front lines of a brewing storm. These territories, just a stone's throw from Taiwan, have become essential pillars of the U.S.-Japan alliance and regional security. New military bases, enhanced airstrips, and cutting-edge missile systems are turning these islands into fortified shields. Imagine standing on Okinawa's shores, knowing you are at the edge of a global chessboard where every move could change the future. This defense buildup isn't just about deterrence, it's about survival. And the stakes rise even higher when you consider the lifelines Japan depends on to fuel its economy. The Senkaku Islands may look like tiny dots on a map, but they carry the weight of national pride and strategic dominance. China, Taiwan, and Japan all lay claim to these rocky outcrops, and every patrol boat, every jet fighter that circles overhead, raises the tension another notch. For Japan, strengthening its defense buildup around these disputed territories is not optional. It's existential. The U.S.-Japan alliance remains a critical backstop, but make no mistake, regional security hangs by a thread here. And in the background, powerful collaborations are forging weapons that will decide tomorrow's standoffs. Behind closed doors, Japan and the United States are quietly building a new generation of missile systems, technologies like AMRAAM and SM-6 that could tip the scales in any conflict. This isn't just about buying hardware. It's about weaving self-reliance into Japan's defense fabric. Each successful test, each new deployment strengthens the regional security net against the China threat. Imagine two master craftsmen sharpening blades together, knowing that one mistake could cost everything. The defense buildup isn't slowing down either because record-breaking budgets are now in play. Numbers rarely lie, and Japan's new 8.7 trillion yen defense budget speaks louder than any speech. It marks a dramatic escalation in commitment, turning promises into real deployments, real technologies, and real deterrence. A nation once anchored in pacifism is now leading a determined shift toward hard power. With this defense buildup, the U.S.-Japan alliance solidifies even further, backed by missile systems capable of reshaping battlefields. Yet even as the budget grows, so do the threats, pushing Japan into new realms of warfare that demand fresh tools and sharper instincts. If you think traditional forces are enough to secure regional security today, think again. Japan is pouring resources into standoff weapons, Tomahawk missiles, cutting-edge drones, and hypervelocity projectiles. This next wave of defense buildup is not just impressive, it's transformative. Imagine a chessboard where knights suddenly learn to fly and pawns can strike across the board in seconds. That's the kind of evolution happening in Japan's military playbook. But new weapons are only part of the equation when multiple adversaries are waiting to strike from different directions. Japan now finds itself surrounded by not one, but three looming dangers: China's assertiveness, Russia's ambitions, and North Korea's volatility. Managing just one would be a diplomatic minefield. Handling all three simultaneously is a different level of challenge altogether. Defense buildup becomes more than strategy. It becomes a necessity for survival. The U.S.-Japan alliance acts as a critical anchor, but even anchors must adapt when the tides shift this rapidly. The China threat is only part of the picture. Behind it, even darker alliances are forming. A troubling new axis is taking shape. North Korea, Russia, and China are strengthening military cooperation at an alarming rate. For Japan, this convergence creates a triad of threats that cannot be ignored. Every satellite launch, every joint drill signals a new level of coordination aimed at undermining regional security. The U.S.-Japan alliance, reinforced by state-of-the-art missile systems and fortified military bases, is the counterweight. Yet Japan knows that its traditional defenses must now be paired with vigilance against emerging, unconventional threats racing forward. Spy satellites, cyber attacks, and stealth missile launches are no longer futuristic threats. They're today's reality. North Korea's technological leaps, combined with broader regional instability, demand a revolutionary rethink of defense buildup strategies. It's no longer enough to protect borders. Japan must now defend data, skies, and signals in a constantly evolving battle space. The U.S.-Japan alliance plays a critical role, but even with all this innovation, the deeper transformation lies in Japan's willingness to reshape its own identity. And the biggest shift of all is happening right under the surface. The pacifist constitution that once defined post-war Japan is quietly, but unmistakably, being reinterpreted. Self-defense is no longer a passive concept. It's an active mission, fueled by an unrelenting defense buildup and a sharper vision of regional security. Political debates rage, critics shout, but the gears of change are already in motion. the US-Japan alliance, the new military bases, the advanced missile systems. All these are signs that the old era has ended. And if you think air superiority is still a luxury, Japan's latest acquisitions will make you think twice. With plans to deploy 42 F-35B stealth fighters, Japan is rewriting its role in the skies. These are not just planes. They're strategic assets capable of turning the tide in any flashpoint. Imagine the edge of invisibility combined with precision lethality, soaring across contested airspace to guarantee regional security. The defense buildup now extends vertically, reaching into air dominance that rivals any force in the region. And still, Japan's ambitions don't stop there. The nation is quietly laying the groundwork for something even more formidable. Japan's endgame is clear. By 2027, it aims to repel invasions independently, and by 2037, to achieve even greater levels of self-sufficiency in defense. This is not a short-term patch. It's a complete transformation born out of necessity. Missile systems, fortified military bases, stealth technology, and regional security doctrines are all converging into a future-proof shield. It's a powerful reminder that history rewards those who prepare, not those who hesitate. And if you've been intrigued by what's unfolding so far, trust me, the journey into this hidden world of strategic realignments has only just begun. Now, tell me, how many people around you even know that Japan has just rewritten the rules of power in Asia? You're now among the rare few who understand the true scale of this bold move, and that already puts you ahead of the crowd. But here's the real secret. This is just one piece of a massive puzzle of hidden world shifts that the media barely touches. Imagine how much sharper, smarter, and better prepared you'll be by uncovering facts like these, one after another. Are you ready to keep unlocking the kind of knowledge that only a select few ever access? If so, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the next move on this global chessboard is coming fast, and you'll want to be among the first to know.